Hello and welcome to Kitterick Farms. We're back with another episode of Edgewater, Saskatchewan, and we are picking things back up exactly where I left off the last episode because the more I thought about it after we stopped recording, the more I decided that I would really like to pick up another one of these fields that we've got over here. My master plan has been to grab these two big fields across the road here and plow them together at some point to have one really large field over there to justify some of this larger equipment that we've got, or that we're growing into, maybe I should say. And I noticed that one of these fields is currently set up as ready to harvest peas. Yeah, it's a little cheesy grabbing a field right before it's ready to harvest, but honestly, the yield's going to be pretty low on it, so it's not like we're going to make a ton of money off of it. But I do want that field, and I think we're going to go ahead and buy it. So let's take a quick look at our finances. I'm at a $350,000 loan. We got $19,000 in the bank. Not bad. We could probably take out a bigger loan here. If I look at the overall map here and click into this, it's only $271,000 roughly to buy this field. That's not bad. I could take out a loan and get it. It's really good soil at 108%. We got a lot of the loam soil type here. If I look at the land lease mod, so it's $270 to buy it. Field 8. Where are you at, Field 8? Field 8, man, I'd have to spend $135 up front on the lease fee, and then $1,354 per day. That's a really steep percentage. That's almost 50%. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's just buy it. I can take out a lease or I can take out a loan for that amount of money, I'm pretty sure. Or not. $585,000? That seems low. I own a lot of land. I'm surprised I can't take out a bigger loan than that. Interesting. Well, what am I going to do? I need, what, $20,000 more? Let's take a quick look at our owned items here. There's got to be something I'm not really using. This loader I could get rid of, I think. I'm not doing that. We had that for bales, but it's kind of small. I'm using the snowblower in the winters. We could probably ditch the snowblade if I had to. Let me just see, before I ditch a bunch of extra equipment, let me just see if we've got enough now to buy this field. Oh yeah, we do. Okay, let's do it. I've got enough products in the storage here left over from the previous season that I think we've got enough to get seed into the ground and such. And I should be selling some more stuff in January here. Some of our crops are up for sale in January. That I think we're going to be good to go to jump into this field. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just literally get right into harvest here and start knocking this field out, because I am looking forward to making some more money here this fall. I'm going to open this up then. We'll see if we can get course play running on this field. I think this would be a great situation to get course play up and going. It's a pretty big field with not a lot of craziness to it, but I want to make sure I've got enough room to pull some trucks onto the headlands here, or our truck onto the headland, I should say, and probably get our grain cart and stuff out here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this headland pass off right away. That way, as the workers going around, we've got freedom to bring things out here, get it turned around and set up all accurately. And this stuff is yielding pretty good, all things considered. Normally when you buy a field with crops in it, it hasn't been taken care of overly well. And this one seems to be doing okay. Not great, but okay. We're sitting right around that 100% yield number with the yellowish orange color here on the yield map down on the lower left. And I'm just looking at this little tiny sliver of grass between the fields here. So one of the reasons we want to buy this is because I really want to combine these two fields together. But this also makes me wonder if we're going to have some problems getting course play going out here on this field. When you've got a sliver that small between fields, I feel like course play is going to have a real hard time figuring out that there's a difference between these fields. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's get this headland pass off first, though, and then we'll try and set it up. Actually, I could probably even just do it while we're driving here. This is a slow enough driver. Field position, if I start down here in the corner. Oh, not these fields like I thought, but field 10 is getting included into this. That's kind of weird. Sometimes if you move the field position around, you can get a better... Oh, that's even worse. I was going to say you can get a better reading on the field. What is going on there? Okay, Courseplay, you've just... you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I better stay on the field here. Apparently, we're not going to use Courseplay to do this, so I guess what we'll do is just start knocking it out ourselves. Not that big of a deal. It's not a crazy field or anything, so if I take off the headland passes, then I can simply hire a base game worker to knock this stuff out for me. It's going to work out just fine, and yeah, we'll get going on it here. So I'm just thinking as we go around this, we haven't gotten very far from the entrance here, but there is no way I get around this field without needing to unload, obviously. And really, there's not going to be a great spot to unload anywhere here on the headland pass. Everything is either trees, fence, or ditches. So we're going to just have to keep an eye on our hopper capacity here, and as I get closer to full, we'll have to do the cut-in maneuver that Courseplay is so infamous for. The field is quite uneven here by the ditch, which is to be expected. It is a ditch, so we'll have to attempt to keep the combine out of the drainage ditch here. What I'm really hoping is to make it to the corner right over there on the other end of these little short rows. And maybe I'll cut this corner out as a little bit of a spot to turn around and not have so many short rows right back here. Since we're almost full, it'll give me an opportunity to top the hopper off and do something sort of meaningful and give us enough room to actually unload the combine up here. I'm not seeing any other way to get in and out of this field. One of the things I was wondering is, if there was an entrance on the other end of the field here, would it make sense to, you know, drive the truck over to one end or the other from an unloading perspective? But honestly, I'm not seeing it. I think it's going to be best to just keep everything like that on the end close to our farm, since that's ultimately where the grains are going to be going. And I can always cut through the middle of this field to give me a little bit more maneuverability with the grain cart if I need it for some reason. We're at 96%. I'm going to go ahead and just get spun right around here and going back on the up and down row, and we'll put the auger out and leave the combine sitting here for our grain cart to come over. We'll shut it down because it's going to take me a minute to get over there. Let's see, I can't remember if we needed fuel in the white here before we head out. It's half full. I'm gonna just go for it. I want to get this harvesting underway, and that means getting out in the field and keeping that combine moving. The faster I can get the workers started off so that I can be doing the things like unloading the grain and getting the semi set up and getting the truck out there and refueling things, the better off I'm going to be, because I can do all of that stuff, or most of that stuff, while the combine's moving. Plus, I'm just really excited to finish getting all the way around this field and seeing all there is to see with it. I love opening up new fields for the first time. Gives me a chance to see something new and run into any problems we're going to run into. Kind of like the Courseplay fiasco here. All right, here we are. Let's go ahead and just get this unloading. Oh, of course, I did shut the combine off. I forget. There it is. And we'll go ahead and get this completely unloaded because we need to keep going on the headland passes here. There we go, all emptied out. Let's get cracking. I want to see this first headland pass get completely taken out. We are going to need to do 2 headland passes, though, before I can let a worker go about the rest of this field. So we've got to go and get it done. And since this is going to take just a minute, maybe we'll time lapse out a little bit of this section. So I have gotten most of the way around my second headland pass here. However, we missed a few bits while I was straightening the row out, and I'm realizing I'm just about full now. So I'm not going to make it down the top end of the headland here. The grain cart's full, we're full. It's going to be time to go grab this semi here in just a minute. I just wanted to finish topping myself off, which isn't going to take much. In fact, I'm not even sure I'll make it to the end of this row here. And the other thing I'm noticing, just out of fun, is that when I was on the far end of the field there, I set a GPS track, and I can see it's going to be 27 passes here on the field, because the GPS is reporting we're on track number 27 right now. So that's a little bit of fun knowledge I'm going to be able to keep track as we move from the other side of the field, whoa, to this one. And maybe I'll keep track of that better than I keep track of when our hopper's full, so we don't run over a bunch of grain. So once again, we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down, since we've got to hop up here into the yard and bring the semi out here. It's going to take us just a minute to get everything moved over. If I was lazy, I'd double check that I've got a good auto drive path out there and into that field entrance, but I'm going to be honest, I'm just not feeling it today. I think we're going to run it all manual, since Courseplay already failed us. Yeah, we might as well get going here with the other components on our own as well. Yeah, I could set up auto drive, I could, do a bunch of things, but some days you just need to do it the old-fashioned way, and today's one of those days. Now, we've got not a ton of room here, but I did take off a third headland pass on this end since we've got the fence in the way. I figured that would make our lives a little bit easier if I'm going to leave this truck on the headland. Make sure I've got plenty of room to turn around with the combine with the truck sitting up here. And normally I prefer to have the tarps on the opposite side that I'm going to be loading the truck from, but I don't think I've got much of a choice. I think we've got to load the truck this way so that I'm pointed back out towards the driveway and I can get out of here. And with that, let's get the old white fired up here and running out there. I've got a modern, or a more modern, upgrade in mind for our grain cart tractor here, but we just spent all of our money on this field, so I'm not sure exactly when it's going to make its way into the series here, but I've got some upgrades planned, hopefully next season, that should bring not only some much needed horsepower to some of these functions, a little bit of a size increase maybe as well, but also I like sticking with our Canadian styles, so it's a piece of equipment that I think would fit in well in this part of the world. So hopefully we can keep doing what we're doing here on this farm and succeeding as well as we are to get more equipment and land upgrades here. I feel like we've kind of moved slowly at first in this series, but we've made a ton of progress this year in upscaling our equipment, especially with that Delta Track and the giant Bourgault seeder that we've got now. The unload speed on this grain cart, though, that is something that I'm looking forward to upgrading. It may be realistic, but I need to get this grain unloaded and get back out in the field as fast as possible. And this is not as fast as possible. There we go, all lined up, getting everything unloaded here. Take just a minute to get dumped into the grain cart here. In fact, I don't think I need to leave the grain cart running for this. We're not going to be able to unload on the go until we finish getting the headland passes off here, because the headland on this end is so curvy. We'll be focused on driving, but we're getting close. As soon as I get to that far corner and I start off on the up-down rows here, we're going to be able to knock this out quickly, because we'll be able to go and manage the grain cart driving and all that good stuff on our own. Looks like we're all emptied out here, so let's get back going. And I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been on the fence about it, but I believe I am going to stand up an Edgewater, Saskatchewan multiplayer server here. So if you're a fan of the videos, but you'd love to get in on a multiplayer experience on this map, stay tuned, because I believe I'm going to set one up that's cross-play capable, meaning that both PC and console players can get in on the action. I've been talking to a handful of people that are very interested in getting in on that, and so I've talked about it now for a few weeks, but we will try and get this going in the first week of April here is my goal. So hopefully we get the time to set up the server, figure out some rules. I'd like it to be a cooperative experience, so I'm really leaning towards having one cooperative farm on the map. Maybe we'll do 2 farms and do some kind of on-map competition. My problem with competitions is just that I don't have a lot of time myself to contribute, and I always feel guilty, so I'd rather have all of us working together towards some common goal, which very well could just be can we own the map, and how long does that take, out of curiosity. I think we would try to do a fairly low-end start, smaller equipment. Since it's cross-play, obviously we're gonna not have any of the automation like auto drive and course play, which is actually not that much of a hindrance on a map like this, given how crazy the fields can be. And so I think it'd be a lot of fun to jump on here and run things manually, but we'll see. So stay tuned here within the next week or so for a community announcement, and really all of the information is going to be on my Discord server about this. So if you're not a member of the Discord server, there is a link in the description of all of my videos. Go ahead and get on the Discord server. All of the multiplayer information is on that server. We've been running a successful community server on a big Western Australia map, which is a PC-only map for a while now. So I feel like it'd be fun to add something that is also open to console players. So we'll see how much interest there is and go from there. I know the channel members have been asking me to get one of these up and running for a little while now, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. However, it looks like I'm now on the up and down rows here, so what we're going to do is disable GPS, and then, oops, I'm turning and I didn't mean to. I'm going to fire off the hired helper here, which is going to take us down the field. And I'm going to jump back over here into the grain cart, and we're going to see if I can get down there. And, well, I'm not going to get down there to unload before he gets to the end row, but I'm hoping he can make it down and back up before he gets full, and I can unload on the next trip back down. I really should have switched over to the grain cart as soon as I turned into that row, but I was too busy musing about the possibility of an additional multiplayer server. So here we are. He's not quite to the corner yet. Man, if I'd really gone all out, I would have got there right as he got turned around, probably. Oh, we are almost full. Okay, tell you what, instead of doing that, let's just take him over here and unload directly into the semi, because he's going to have to stop before we got to the end anyway. This is just going to be a little bit easier. We'll top off this pup trailer if we can, and then get headed back down the field. All right, we got all but 45 bushels into that back trailer. That's awesome. We'll just dump the small remainder into the front and get back down here to our end row. It's not that far. I normally don't like backing up very far. It's so incredibly slow, but I feel like this is one of those rare occasions that it would have been right about the same amount of time to try and turn around and drive down here going forwards. So let's get this set up. Got the header running. Now the real question is, what percentage are we going to be at for a hopper when we get to the other end of the field here? That'll tell me if we can do one round or two before we need to unload each round. And that's always the most important question when you're doing a field for the first time, is understanding where the yield is at and what you need to do to keep track of your combine. So we're just starting to come up towards the end of the field here. We're at 25% in the hopper, which means I should be able to make a full round and then get back down here and start heading back where my on that fourth pass, the auger will be out the right way for me to unload before we get full. We're getting into the 30s now, but the saving grace here for that is that these are the longest rows we'll do. It's going to get easier and easier to keep up with the combine the further down we go, so we'll keep that in mind here. And I can't recall, I think I've got the helper on right now just to see if it was able to handle this end of the field. So I'm not actually touching anything. It looks like this is going to work out really well for us, so I'm feeling pretty confident that the workers got everything under control. Now, as long as I'm here, I am going to unload as we start working our way back down, because we've got a mostly full grain cart here already, and I want to make sure that I can top off that semi and get that running back up to the yard here while the combine's running. No sense sitting around waiting for things and then having everything kind of come to a head all at once. And I am just realizing we never bought the precision farming data for this field. What would that cost me? Oh, $16,000 that we do not have. Good deal. I will hold off on that then for a little bit. We'll have to get that going here before spring, obviously. But for now, yeah, we're going to just sit on it. And wow, there we are. We're already getting topped off here, and I have not emptied out the combine. It is mildly concerning that that's going to mess up my whole calculations on whether or not I can let him go for another round or not, but that's okay. We've got a bigger fish to fry, like getting this semi filled up, although I don't think this is going to be enough to top off the front of the semi. I think I'm going to need one more load out of the grain cart here, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I've emptied everything out here into that front hopper, and we've got room for probably another almost full grain cart, if not a completely full one. So we're going to let him sit there until we get another load to dump off, and I'm going to follow the combine back up here. Maybe we'll unload on the way back down one more time. We'll see how full he is. I'm gonna get down here. I'm gonna get parked, and we'll check in on him. So I'm hopping up here. We're over 50% already, but what I'm noticing more than anything is that fuel gauge flashing in the red. Apparently, we need a lot more fuel again. So let's go ahead and jump in the old Super Duty here and see if we can get out here to the field and be ready to refuel that combine. I'm hoping that it'll make it down to the end row here by the semi again before we need to get refueled, but you never know. We can always drive the pickup out into the field, I suppose, but it'd just be more convenient if it could make it back down here to the end row. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and park this right back here behind the semi. That will leave my pump out on the right side to reload the combine. And yeah, hopefully we make it back down to this end. While we're working our way that way, we might as well unload the combine. It's looking like it's getting a mite full. We're probably at, I don't even know, 70% or so here now. Maybe a little bit more. It's 80%. There we go. Now we know for sure. So I don't think we would have made it back down to the other end, which is a good problem to have. We seem to be hitting a higher yield spot on the field for some reason. That's good. It's probably getting into some better soil quality or something. We'd know if we could afford the soil maps, but we can't. I'm just really curious about the fuel, though. It's been flashing in the orange there for quite some time, it looks like. And I know this thing burns through the fuel. We've kind of talked about that in a few episodes now. I keep saying I'm going to fix it, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not completely unrealistic. I mean, it's unrealistic in the amount of time it takes in the game, but... you know, we should be refueling our combine every day when we're harvesting, and I've only had to refuel it once so far this harvest season, so having to put another tank of fuel in it after our third or fourth field here of harvesting, not that big of a deal. We are making it down to the end here. It looks like I've got the hopper pretty well cleaned out, so I'm going to go ahead and hold back here, and we're going to jump into the combine and help him get to a point where we can fuel up before we get back onto the next row. Let me put this pipe in before I run into a power pole or something. And there we go. We're filling up. No problem. We didn't quite get full, though. I think I finally used all of the diesel in the tank there. Not excited about that. I was hoping to have a little bit of fuel left for the grain cart here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just toss this guy back on his way. Whew, that thing's loud. And we'll jump over here and get the old semi hopefully topped off. We got another 352 bushels here. That's going to put us pretty close in either case. For me, it's always fun to sit here and try and guess. Are we going to fill it up or not? I think we're going to fill it up. Oh, there we go, with 43 bushels to spare. Very nice, very nice. So let's go ahead and just toss this back over here out of the way. And I'm going to let the combine do its thing. We're going to hop into this semi and get it up into the yard and keep unloading these beans into the bin, the peas into the bin. We've got a number of peas already in there, and if I'm not mistaken, that's what we did last in our other field here. So we should have everything set up with the auger to go right back into that same bin. This is a one heavy load, though. It's definitely pulling even this awesome Kenworth. So we've got to keep the gears shifted appropriately. There we go. And now we're trucking. Get up to 30 miles an hour right as we get to the driveway and have to slow it back down. And I'm just trying to think if it's going to be easier to come in this side again or swing all the way around. I think I'm going to try and come in this way. This Westfield's in the way just a little bit, though. We'll make it. It's not going to be quite squared on, but I think the hoppers will be wide enough to accept the load. And it's going into the bin, which means that we are right indeed. These are our peas. We're sliding, we're sliding. And let's get that second hopper unloaded here as well. We gotta get it all in. I'm worried, honestly, that the combine's gonna be getting full here soon, although I haven't seen the 80% warning pop up. Although I will admit I'm not that good at paying attention to the notifications sometimes. There we go, all emptied out. Just gotta wait for the drive over to get cleaned out and we can drive on over it. Perfect. All right, we're trucking now. Let's get back out to this field. I want to make sure we've got that combine moving. Oh, it's on its way back down. I wonder if this is its second pass back down or the first. I would think, based on our initial estimates, that it would have to stop for being full before it gets to the end row, but it has started moving into the shorter rows here on this part of the field, and I can see quite the heap on the top of the combine, which tells me we've messed up and I'm not going to get to unload on the way down. It's going to get full right near the end here and turn back into the next row. Oh, that'll be so annoying. Well, I guess I can always just stop the worker here and unload directly into the semis. So let's do that. We'll unload directly. This is gonna be the easiest thing I think for us. And we're gonna need to spend quite a bit of time back at the shop with the pressure washer when we're all said and done with this job. All of our equipment is getting quite dirty at this point. And there we go. Let's see if I can do a little bit better job of working my way back in onto the row here. Something like that. I don't want to miss that many feet. It looks like we're missing like 2 whole rows or something when I cut over that much. That's looking better, much better. Off we go. The next round, once we get down here and turn around, we'll take off all of these long rows as well. So we'll be into some pretty short rows at that point. I think we're looking at one more semi here and we'll be all wrapped up with this field. I don't think we'll have to make a whole nother trip out here. I could be wrong, but I think we've got the bulk of it into the semi now at this point. And no sense squeezing myself back in by the fence. I think I'll just leave it right here. We'll be plenty out of the way. So we have been going to town on this field for a little while here, but I've still got a number of rounds left to knock it out, but we're starting to get full. I've got another grain cart here, not quite full, but full enough for what we're doing to run over here to the semi. In fact, I think this should just top off our second semi. So there's me making a guess that we could get it all off the field in 2 semis, and we are definitely not going to be correct on that. In fact, I think we'll even have one of the 2 hoppers full on the 3rd semi, if not grain into both of them. So let's see. I can't even remember. I've been just unloading into whichever trailer I come across here. Looks like the front is full. The back is probably just going to take a handful of bushels here. Very nice. And yeah, I've still got 300 bushels sitting in the grain cart. So let's just drop that there. And I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing up and we'll get it back up to the farm. Now I did hop over here and move that west field auger out of the way for me, so I should be able to pull into the farmyard a lot easier here this time around. We had a little bit of downtime in between harvesting all this, but not much, honestly. We'd jump out and take a shot for the montage, and then I'd have to get right back into the grain cart and unload the combine again. So that's how I like it. I like to stay busy during harvest, and these peas are yielding a lot better than I was expecting them to on a purchased field. I mean, I don't think we're still getting 100% of the yield we could have gotten off of that field, but honestly, it's not bad, and we should make a pretty good profit on this if we can hold on to them all for the right amount of time. Now, I am actually starting to get worried about whether or not I've got space in this bin to hold all of these peas. We've been making the assumption that that field wasn't going to do so well, and it's actually doing quite well. So while this starts to dump in here, I figured let's check on this bin and get an idea of just how full it is so far. We're at 120. I think this is a 130,000 liter bin. So this is about to get good and full. And then we're going to end up in an awkward situation where the augers are probably both full of peas as well. So now I don't even know what to do. Oh, goodness. Well, let's shut this down here. I'm going to leave the semi here, actually. And we're going to jump back out into the field. I'm going to see how much of this combine is going to fit into the white. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can get it all into the grain cart either, though. So that means I've got some figuring out to do. I do need to get stuff out of that semi before we get to next month, because we're going to need to use that when we're harvesting our canola for sure. So we'll probably end up having to sell a load of peas here at a less than optimal price. If I just take a quick look at the map, August is, as you would expect, the worst price for peas because they're all starting to come off the field. July, is where it does its major drop. I've got to hang on to these until at least January, more likely June though. So I don't even know what we're going to do with these. If I just take a quick look at lentils were in the same situation here. I was hoping maybe we could just sell off some of the lentils and use that second bin to hold the rest of these peas. I could also maybe transfer into the larger bin with the peas, but I don't even know if that's going to hold it. Let me take a quick look here. If I look at our silos real quick, I think this is 160. It's only got 30,000 more liters of capacity there. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. So I got almost a full semi over there, and this is going to be pretty close to a second full semi. All right, well, I'm all filled up here. Yeah, I guess, there's no point in leaving it up here. I might as well drive this back over to the entrance. I don't think that combine's going to be able to finish without getting full, though. Man, oh man. Well, I guess you finished your task. My goodness, I don't think you did. Let me help you out here. Actually, this guy might be able to finish it, so let me just get the crazy worker here started again. We'll get him fired off. That's only 1.5 rounds. I think he can do it. So what I'll do is haul this back up to the farm, and we will, we'll unload this into the semi. I'll see if I can top that off, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to bring the combine back up to the yard without having to empty it. I'm not sure yet. Everything is just not quite going according to plan at the moment. In a good way. We've got way more grain than we know what to do with. I'm just looking at our yard as we drive through here. I could put a row of bins out here on the roadside there. I'm not sure the neighbors driving by are going to want to look at them, but it would work out and give us a bit more storage. I don't think those bins are that expensive. Alternatively, oh, the brakes. Alternatively, I could actually toss a little bin right over there, kind of right up against the tree line. That would give me a little extra storage here. And I don't think it'd be in the way too much over there. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll toss one. Maybe I'll even toss one of these bigger ones in. It's not that it's that much bigger, but give us just a little bit more storage would be good. Because I'm just looking at this, we're going to have a full semi here, no doubt about it. By the time I get this grain cart in there and whatever's in the combine, I'm feeling like we're going to have quite a bit of excess peas here. Good problems to have. If I just look here, it's only 15K to slap down another one of these bins. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, get this guy out of the way. Let's go check on our combine, which I am really hoping is done. There we go. It is done and 55% full. That's not too bad. I feel comfortable driving this back up to the farm with a half a hopper full. It's not like it's so full it's gonna bounce out and go on the road or put too much strain on the machine here. Hopefully we're just going down the road less than a mile here. All right, here we are up in the yard. I believe what I'm gonna do is try to sneak in between the grain cart and the semi here, or the bins first, I should say. And then we're gonna unload right into that front hopper of the semi. See if I can get everything in there would be the most opportune setup for us. We've got a pretty tight yard here. At some point, I would love to get us upgraded into a larger farmyard as well, now that we're finally starting to fill up bins for a change. We were at a point where I feel like we weren't ever really topping off any of our bins, and now we are. Oh, we didn't quite get it all in. That's very unfortunate. All right, what I'm going to do then is put the rest in the grain cart because we do need to get this combine all switched over to canola here for next episode. So we're going to just leave everything in the grain cart and semis and call that a day here. It's been a very successful harvest here. Much welcomed bonus amounts of peas here. And I think the plan for next episode, we will get the time move forward. We'll get the swather going out on our canola. And while that's going and we need to wait to get caught up, I'm going to be figuring out our bin situation here. We'll see if we can get another bin up and running and probably add another bin probably over here, I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't really like the idea of having them out by the road. So, well, that's the thought. We do have one empty already, though, right here. So maybe we'll toss the peas into this bin that we've already got stood up, and then we'll stand up a new bin for the canola. So much to do, so little time. That's all for today. Keterk out.